So, I wanted to address this today because I know there are quite a few folks that are going through some challenging times, and I've been there. And one of the first things that typically we let go of is managing our health. We put it on the back burner. And one of the things that people even say to me before they're starting a program, "Oh, I have so much going on right now, and now it's just not the time to focus on me." And the reality of that situation is the more you can focus on controlling the things that are in your control, how much you're exercising, how many steps you're getting in, how much water you're drinking, what are you eating? Those things really have an impact on everything that's happening in our lives externally. So I wanted to bring attention today. Why does this happen? Why now? And I also want to talk a little bit about the minimum effective dose or minimum effective health so that you're not actually backsliding and you can still make forward progress. And then how do we manage our health during these times? So initially just talking about the top 10 life stressors: death of a spouse or partner, divorce, marital separation, death of a close family member, major personal illness or injury, marriage, yes, even the happy times, job loss, retirement, pregnancy or birth of a child. Thank goodness those days are over for us. And a major move or relocation. And I'm just going to step back to 5 to 5.5 years ago. I had experienced marital separation, which led to divorce. I had to shut my gym down, and I had a major move slash relocation. So 4 of the top 10. And I was working with my coach at the time, and I was ready to just throw in the towel. And we would have almost weekly conversations because I was on the verge of a total breakdown. What we would manage to do is figure out what was possible. What could I be capable of that wouldn't tear my entire prior 4 months of amazing work that I had done to take this major backslide and put on all this weight and feel super stressed out. And the one thing that I always gravitated towards was, okay, I know I have my health. I can work out this many times a week. I will focus on getting my steps in, and I'm going to be making sure that I'm meal prepping. Now, it was COVID, so nobody was really eating out, but I could have ordered out. I really took that time to focus on dialing in my nutrition because I felt better overall when I was doing all of those things. So, reality is, especially in midlife, we have a lot of things that can arise. Some of us are becoming empty nesters for the first time or the second time. Some of us are having marital issues where we're really looking across the table at that other person saying, really, is this the end of life? Is this who I want to be with? Our parents are aging or may have passed. Our careers could be taking a pivot. So a lot of things that are going on, and it does cause a physical response within our body, a stress response, where we get into this fight or flight mode. And yeah, a bear might not be chasing us in the woods, but it's this constant state of mind, state of being that is causing sleep disruptions. It can cause us to eat emotionally, cause us to be less motivated to do the things like workout or go to bed on time. It's really not a matter of not having willpower or maybe not even having the motivation. It's physically what's going on in your body. That's just biology. It's something that we have almost trained our bodies to do, respond to stress. So you will have your patterns that might be different from one person to the other, but I think the biggest thing to remember and to focus on is the fact that you're not broken. It's the way your body is responding under stress. And that's exactly how we were built. Fortunately or unfortunately, that's the way we handle situations. So just drop in the chat if you have ever experienced this type of stress where you really feel like I can't I can't fit in exercise. I can't fit in healthy eating. Or maybe you're the one that is just now's not the time for me to focus on my health. I just can't do it. And you allow yourself to derail. And I don't want to say give yourself the excuse, but it's like you just don't have the energy in your brain to or space to think about the things. What are the things that I have to do? All right. Let's talk about how do we create a mindset shift. I mentioned earlier the minimum effective dose or the minimum effective health. If you can think about, okay, no, there's just no way I'm going to be perfect. Because if you have that mentality that if I can't have my meals spot on for today, then I'm just not going to worry about it until next week. And you just keep putting off until years go by. And then all of a sudden you might have health issues, or you may have put 25 to 30 pounds on, and you wake up one morning and you're like, how did this even happen? And that's really from having that all or nothing mindset. So, how do we shift away from that? Focusing on what your particular 1 to 3 non-negotiables are. So, what are the simplest, most powerful actions that can keep you moving forward even during chaos? And here are 3 examples that probably aren't super difficult for you to do. Making sure you're hydrated. We know that hydration allows our body to run more smoothly. Starting your day with a pint of water. Beginning your day after you've not had anything to drink all night long. You're waking up in a dehydrated state, and then generally most of us are reaching for coffee or tea, which is just going to exacerbate the situation. So how do we get around that? Have that glass of water sitting at your bathroom sink, and then think about, okay, every time I eat, I'm going to drink 16 ounces of water, whatever that might be for you, or I'm going to drink this entire water bottle. So every time you're eating, you're getting that hydration. Number 2 would be focusing on movement. We have this mindset that if we're not putting in at least an hour, maybe more, some of us, that it's not even worth it. And that's just not true. Even getting up and going outside for a 10-minute walk or doing 10 minutes of body weight is going to be better than 0. And if you can fit that in, maybe 5, maybe 3 days is what you start with. But every day, if you can commit to doing at least 10 minutes of movement, that's going to help with your stress levels, just being mobile. As we're getting older, that becomes more and more important. And making sure that we are not making that commitment that we have to do X, Y, or Z as far as our exercise is concerned. Just committing to doing something, walking, stretching, standing up and walking around the office or your desk or what every hour, if you can do it, would be super helpful. And then the last one, we know how important protein is, especially at our age, but it doesn't even matter. If you're in your 20s, if you're in your 80s, protein's important. Think about when you're planning your meals, what is my protein source? And then produce. So protein and produce, the PNP. If you can keep that in mind at every meal, you're going to be more than likely to help your energy levels and getting the vitamins from fruits and vegetables is going to help with your levels of stress, and you're just going to feel overall less chaos, I will say. And then keep it simple and be consistent. If you can commit to doing those 1 to 3 things every day, or at least 5 out of 7 days, you're going to prevent that backslide. And maybe now is not the time to expect major momentum, but you can prevent that backslide. And through those consistent habits that you've decided that you're going to commit to, that's going to help you get there. So, what could be ways that you can manage that? And I just wrote these 5 simple things. So, your morning anchor, I already talked about that, making sure that you are taking that pint of water before you even move from your bathroom into any other space. You could also take 5 minutes to stretch, or maybe you take 5 or 10 minutes to journal or do morning devotionals or meditation, whatever that might look like for you before your day gets crazy. It can really set the tone for the day. When I was going through that struggle period, I would text my niece and my bestie, who were also not in the greatest of circumstances. 3 things that we were grateful for every day, and tried not to repeat that. And then at the end of every day, what was one good thing or one win that happened from your day? And that really just shifted your attitude to a position of gratitude and happiness at the get-go, implementing a morning anchor and whatever that might look like for you. Having those quick meals. So 3 go-to healthy meals that take less than 10 minutes. So what are some examples? Protein smoothie, eggs and vegetables, and you can prepare that ahead of time and freeze it. Simple salad with some rotisserie chicken. That will keep you out of the drive-through line when things are crazy. It's super easy to get yourself out of those habits, and sometimes we crave those drive-through type foods, but when you are making that commitment to yourself and things are just utter chaos throughout your life, just remember the value of what you do to your body and how you can control or help control your mood is really important. If you can think about that before you head through that drive-through, you might have better chance of success to avoid it altogether and be more prepared. Taking breaks. There is 100% proof and studies that show if you are in that fight or flight, or at any time where you're feeling that stress, most often we're feeling in our chest, sometimes in our stomach, but if you can just slow down and focus on doing some box breathing, so in through the count of 4, holding, out to the count of 4, holding, that can bring our respiratory rate down. It can bring our blood pressure down. Making sure that during those times where we're feeling that flight or fright, that we take even just 2 minutes, a couple times throughout the day, slowly breathing, allowing yourself to be a little bit more present. If you're focused on that, your mind is not going to be focused on the past or the future. And it's really telling your body, okay, I'm safe. It's okay to relax. So don't underestimate the power of your breath. Support system. Definitely don't isolate. You want to be reaching out to friends, family member, or yours truly, and rely on that person who can support you when your motivation dips or when you're just struggling with day-to-day life things. And that's even just showing up today, right now, and allowing yourself the time and energy to learn how to how do you manage these types of situations. That's just one way that you're already showing up for yourself. So awesome for doing that. And then having one reset day per week. What does that look like? Use one day to reset your space, aka straighten things up. A lot of times clutter makes us feel not so good. So how can we quickly race around our living spaces and clear the clutter? And then so taking that time to meal prep will help us be a little more organized and take the pressure off the rest of your week by allowing yourself that might be 2 hours, might be 3 hours. And again, if you're at a point where you don't have a whole lot of time to cook or you don't like to cook, there are so many healthy convenience items or healthy places that you can get food that's prepared that, you can still manage to be successful utilizing those types of scenarios. Time savers, definitely ordering on your grocery store apps. That also helps you not succumb to things that you may not necessarily normally want to be putting in your basket, but you do because it's there. So I love using the grocery apps, and it's a huge time saver too. All right, so before we wrap up, I want to just do a quick visualization with you. I'm going to actually have you guys go ahead and close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in, and then exhale slowly. So just imagine a time in your life where you were feeling extreme chaos, extreme stress, and try to bring yourself back to that time, or it could be right now when you're experiencing that. So just picture yourself in the future. Could be 30 days, could be 3 months, could be a year. And life might still be busy, but you've kept those small habits. Your morning water, your morning journaling, a quick walk, eating your protein and produce, taking breathing breaks. Just imagine how your body might feel. Lighter, stronger, calmer. And then just imagine waking up and feeling proud because even in the chaos, you didn't lose yourself. You actually continued to show up for you. And now open your eyes and ask yourself about that version of you. She's not that far away, and she can actually start today instead of pushing that off. Hopefully that felt amazing. All right, so just to recap, you don't need a perfect life to be healthy. You just need simple, powerful habits to keep you grounded. And even when life feels messy, chaotic, totally stressed out, the one thing that you can control is your health and how you can keep advancing forward in feeling better, looking better, and just overall being more grounded by just taking control of the things that you can control, and that is your movement and all of your other habits, what you're putting into your body. It makes a huge, huge difference. Questions, comments? I know everyone can probably relate to this. I want to create is a midlife chaos reset checklist. I appreciate you guys being here for that, and I will forward that to you when it is done so you have it as a gentle reminder in the coach's guides that not all is lost and you have the power and the ability to make the best decisions for your body. And oftentimes, if we're trying to take care of somebody else, but we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't really be the best for those people because we're not being the best for ourselves. Just a little suggestion that it matters. What you're doing to your body affects everybody around you.